started work as doctors and it definitely has not been what we expected. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of what it's really like to be junior doctors in the UK.
Hi, my name is Lydie.
And my name is Hazal.
We are two UK doctors, and on this channel we share insights on all things self-development, productivity and adulthood. You guys sent in some questions that you wanted us to answer, people who have recently started the world of work in the NHS and we'll be answering all of these questions in today's video.
Let's get straight into it. So the first question is, how many hours are you working a week?
So as an F1 in the UK, I would say that my shortest working week is 40 hours, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. So the shortest amount of hours I work is 40 hours a week, and it can go up to 55 hours a week. But that's not including the fact that I haven't started my surgical rotation yet, where I'm gonna have nights and the hours can go even higher than that. Like my longest working day is 9 AM to 10 PM.
Guys, I don't think you're comprehending. 9 AM to 10 PM.
Yeah. It's actually crazy to say it.
It's like, that's a long time.
I know, right?
To be in one establishment.
But that's crazy.
I know. But I think in general, when you are on a surgical rotation, I think some of my friends go up to like 65 hours a week. So it can get really intense.
How was it adapting from a medical school schedule to an F1 schedule? By the way, for those of you who don't know, foundation year 1 just means your first year as being a junior doctor, and then year 2, foundation year 2, FY2, is year 2 of being a junior doctor before you think about what you want to specialize in.
It's been really hard. I feel like we didn't know how good we had it as a student.
Regardless how good I had it.
I mean, you know, but then when you come to a different schedule, you just remember how good it was. Obviously, being a medical student isn't easy and it is quite demanding, but it's nothing compared to working every single day in a week, like at least 5 times a week. Working is hard, like, and getting used to the schedule of getting up every morning, having breakfast, getting on transport, getting to the hospital, ward round, handover, and then jobs, and then coming home, eating and sleeping and repeating. It's too much, guys, as you can tell.
Yeah, I would say we're very privileged, of course, and lucky that we're in our profession, we're happy about it, but adapting to full-time work is a huge shock to the system.
How have you found on-call shifts and night shifts? They seem so bad. So for any of you who don't know, an on-call shift is basically a shift that's outside of normal working hours. So you'll have your normal job or your normal working hours from 9 to 5, and then from 5 to 9 or 5 to 10 PM, you'll have an on-call shift where essentially you need to be available to any other team in the hospital if they need help with something or if they need you to prescribe a medication, for example.
But I would add some on-call shifts start from 9 AM. So I have both. I have on-call shifts that start after 5. And I have on-call shifts that are just 9 AM to 10 PM.
Yeah, and on-call literally means like you walk around with a bleep and anyone can message you essentially and ask for advice, ask you to prescribe something, ask you to contact a consultant, a senior.
And you can get multiple calls at once. It can be quite intense. And not all on-call shifts are that format as well. Some on-call shifts, for example, in my hospital, is clerking shifts. And that just means that you give A&E an extra hand, to be honest. As people are coming in, you kind of go and you clerk patients, and that just means you take a history, you do examinations, you order scans, you kind of do everything, and then senior members will decide if that person needs to be admitted into hospital, and if so, what ward.
And a night shift is a shift that starts at 9 PM or 10 PM sometimes, and then finishes the following morning at 9 AM or 10 AM, depending on the hospital. So like Lydie said, she hasn't had any night shifts yet, and I haven't either. I also have been lucky enough to not have any on-call shifts, but you have had on-call shifts. So are they really that bad?
Yeah. Sometimes they're not as bad. Like my most recent one, I think because I was with another doctor, another F1, it made it a bit more manageable, but that's not the standard. That's not normal. You're not normally with another F1. And I think that can be quite daunting and intense because there aren't really a lot of doctors on shift at that time. So when you have a big decision to make, it's kind of like, oh my gosh, what do I do? So you kind of need to kind of rely on the reg, the more senior doctors a bit more. But no, it can be a bit stressful for sure. Like I don't enjoy on-call shifts and I can't wait to be a GP and not have to do them anymore.
I actually think that's an important thing to note because during the normal working hours, there's a whole team. Even if it's not the biggest team in the world, there's a lot of other healthcare professionals and doctors that you can get support from. But out of hours, it's usually one F1, maybe one F2, and then one reg and one consultant looking after multiple wards. It's not just one ward, so like hundreds of patients.
That's like hundreds of patients.
Yeah, hundreds of patients looked after by basically 4 doctors. But as an F1, your role is kind of more hands-on because the senior doctors are doing maybe more important things, but you have to do more of the running around, seeing patients, prescribing medications, etc. So it's not easy.
Yeah.
And I'm not looking forward to my first one.
So the next category we're going to touch on is kind of doctor life and just us as doctors essentially. First question, what is the best thing about working as a doctor?
Oh, that's such a cute question. I think, okay, this is going to be so like cliche, but sometimes when I'm on the hospital wards and I'm doing like very doctory stuff, like prescribing a medication or whatever it might be, it feels good to be able to do the things I've been working towards for so long. Like just doing normal doctor stuff just feels like, oh, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm actually like doing something that I've been working towards for so long.
That's really nice perspective.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have that thought often, but I would say that my favorite thing is when a patient I've been seeing I've only been working for 22 days.
Yeah,
or a patient who I've been looking after for the past few days with a consultant gets better and gets discharged.
Oh.
Yeah, it actually makes me really happy. Some of the patients, for example, have dementia, so they probably don't remember you, but they're like leaving, you're like, hi, and they're just like, who are you? And it's like, don't you worry. But yeah, no, it's really nice to see patients get better and get discharged, because I've also seen the other side of it where they don't get better, and unfortunately they have to pass away and you have to deal with death certificates and stuff. So yeah.
This question, I need to know the answer myself. How do you deal with feeling tired all the time? Guys, it's you as well, right? Like I've been so tired coming back from my shift. So it's like, even if I haven't had the most demanding shift, it's been a very typical 9 to 5 shift. I come home and I'm just slumped onto my bed because I think my body just isn't used to the schedule. Going back to the previous question, it's just not used to the schedule of working a 9 to 5 job essentially.
Yeah. I think if the question is how do you deal with it, the answer is I don't. I don't deal with it. I'm struggling. Like hard.
Guys,
I need to sleep. I feel sleep deprived.
My sleep
Cry for help when you help me. Help.
Oh my gosh, my sleep schedule is not cute. I don't even know why, but there's just so much going on.
Yeah, when we figure out how to deal with it, we'll let you know. Yeah. If you figure out how to deal with it, please help us
guys,
in the comment section.
Guys, please.
Do you think junior doctors are treated fairly, i.e. bottom of the pecking order? This is actually an interesting conversation I had with one of my regis earlier this week. And obviously there's a hierarchy in NHS, obviously. You've just started work, you're not going to be at the same level of the consultant. And I do think to some extent the hierarchy in itself isn't a bad thing, because I think it's important that patients have a main person who is responsible for them, which is a consultant. And then there are all of these other specialist teams that might be visiting the patient over the course of the week, whether that's palliative care, or the nurses, or the COPD team, or the junior doctors. All these people are interacting with the patient. One person needs to be responsible and be the one making the final shot, and that is normally the consultant. So I don't think the hierarchy within itself is a bad thing, but I do think that some people abuse that, and that some people, especially some certain seniors, feel they need to talk down to juniors, or feel they need to look down on them because they're new to the job, or not appreciate the fact that they were once in the same position as us. So do I think junior doctors are treated fairly? I think it depends on the hospital and the team. I'm very lucky that in my hospital and my team, the consultants are really nice. They're so shocking. But I have had instances, for example, where a senior nurse was very like impolite in their tonality towards me, and I told them then and there, I don't think the way they approach situations is professional or appropriate for this setting, because one thing I'm going to do is stand for my rights, to be honest. I didn't work hard for 5 years to be spoken down to, and obviously there's then the option to escalate, report, etc. So I think yes and no. In some situations yes, but no as well, because you will always come across someone who will talk down at you because you're a junior doctor, and it's just about standing for your rights, and if needed, escalating it and reporting the situation.
Cool. Have you ever considered relocating to another country to practice medicine? This question, I feel like, is just so interesting because every single doctor will have a different answer. Me personally...
Be honest now.
Right now, I don't think I could go to another country and practice medicine forever. Like, I don't think I could just move countries and stay there forever. Maybe go into a different country for like a year or two. It's not off the tables just yet. I don't know where that would be. Like, I'm not one of those like really key doctors who have already started prepping for their relocation. I'm not that interested in moving just yet, but I'm not also ruling it out for the future. I think it's a cool opportunity that I could definitely try out, improve my skills, and travel as well. So yeah.
And just to add to that, because I know relocation is such a big topic right now for junior doctors, I genuinely think that if you have a huge passion with a particular specialty medicine and you want to have a work-life balance and your pockets honoured, then I do think considering relocation makes sense. But as a multifaceted individual, medicine will never be my only career pursuit, if that makes sense. Like medicine will always be a component of other things I'm doing as well, because I have multiple interests, and because of that I don't think the reasons that people want to relocate affect me as much. Whether that's like the financial aspect of it, medicine is not my only source of income, whether that's the work-life balance of it, I'm probably going to end up being a part-time doctor. Whether that's the specialist side of it, I'm a generalist, so GP, like just seeing, you know, a variety of conditions is okay for me. Or if I ever go into health tech, I can do that in the UK and that's fine for me. I just feel like I don't have a huge incentive to go abroad, because what I want I can find in other places than medicine. Do you get what I mean? I feel like people who medicine is their all, which there's nothing wrong with, it makes sense, but medicine is not my all. It's not worth relocating for medicine. I'm passionate about medicine, but for me, not to that extent, if that makes sense.
Makes sense.
And I think both sides of the spectrum are okay.
Exactly. Our next few questions are going to be all things related to our friendships. So the first question is, how do you make good friends and find your people in adulthood? Ooh. This is a very good question, because I feel like kind of when you're in school and even when you're in uni, like you make friends out of convenience, but once you step into the working world, you might have friends out of convenience, for example, at work. But if you are wanting to have more meaningful, more deep connections with friends, you are going to have to put a bit more of an effort in to find your people. And I think genuinely this carries from like secondary school all the way up until now, is if you put yourself in a position where you are doing things you enjoy, whether it be joining certain like clubs, like running clubs or tennis clubs, or even going to areas you just enjoy, like cute little cafes, I feel like eventually you will meet people that are on the same wavelength exactly, and who are on the same page as you. So like I'm never one to say kind of change who you are to find friends. It's never going to work out in the long run. So just do what makes you happy, do what makes you comfortable, and put yourself in positions where you are able to meet other people, because you can do what you want and be comfortable at home. You're not going to make friends at home. So if you put yourself in those positions, eventually you will meet people, and it might require some initiative from your aspects. For example, if you keep seeing if you keep seeing the same people at the same club as you, just be like, strike a conversation. What do you guys do? Do you guys want to go grab a coffee, etc., etc.? I feel like you definitely do need to have that step as well, but I think it happens in places where you are most comfortable. You are doing your own hobbies and interests.
Whether it's the gym, church, joining a tennis club, or running club. I think we're really lucky in that there's so many clubs and communities out there, even online communities. So generally, you need to put yourself out there and hopefully come across people you vibes with. How
are you guys planning on maintaining your friendship now that it's long distance? So for those of you that don't know, I am currently living in Coventry for work. I've had to relocate. Well, not relocate, what is it? Just move. I've had to move, and Liddy's still at home in London. So it is long distance now. How are we going to maintain it?
So dramatic, because obviously we did 5 years of med school, where we went to the same med school, went to the same sixth form. So around 6 years we've been stuck at the hip essentially. I think we're so solidified in our friendship. I would say our friendship is quite mature in regards to some extent communication, respect, and just having the same goal, which is just to like be good friends to one another and see each other win, and we're kind of working towards similar things. So I think because of that we have a solid foundation in our friendship. So that means that regardless of the distance, we can still be just as close, if that makes sense. I don't think closeness in a friendship is distance dependent when you've been friends for so long. There's always we text every day
and try to FaceTime,
and we try to FaceTime. Her Wi-Fi is absolutely crap,
and Lily's always working on call.
I'm always on calls, but I think regardless, like we catch up a lot, and like Hazal's my main friend, so if I don't speak to her, who am I going to speak to? Do you get what I mean? So I think even though I don't see Hazal every day, we also like make plans to each other at least monthly, because number one, we need to film, and then separately there's like motives we want to do, and she's my main person to do motives with, I'm her main person, so naturally we kind of have to see each other.
It's a friendship of convenience.
I think Coventry isn't that far from London, so it's actually not that deep in the long run. Obviously sometimes like, I miss Hazal, I wish I could just go for like drive 10 minutes and go to her house like I normally would, but I think it's teaching us a lot, and I think our friendship will come out stronger from this once foundation years are done and we go to where we need to go after that. The next section is all about medicine / medical school. Do you miss medical school as a recent graduate?
I don't miss exam season, that's for sure. But I do miss being a student, being able to see my friends every single day. Like, I think we definitely take that for granted sometimes. Like, you actually see your friends every single day, whether it's in the library, whether you're going to a lecture theatre together. So I definitely miss that aspect of it. And I feel like life was just less serious as a student when it wasn't exam season. Like, you could miss a lecture if you wanted to, or just grab a coffee and chit chat. But now, like, we need to go to work. And, like, we have to go to work, and then we have to stay there until our shift ends.
Yeah, it's not like placement where we can just dip at 12.
And like, I don't have a 1 hour lunch anymore. We always used to have
shocking, you know.
We used to have 1 hour lunches between all our lectures. I don't have that anymore.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So it's definitely taking some getting used to, but I do miss med school. I think the main thing I miss is kind of just seeing my friends all the time.
Oh, there.
Yeah, but I think I know it's part of adulthood and whatnot, but
I'm gonna say something controversial. But I don't think I miss med school. Yeah, I think I miss...
You like it here?
You like it? I miss my free time and my ability to have more autonomy over my free time as a result of the schedule at med school. Like, med school as an institution and a reality, I don't really miss it, to be honest. I think as fifth year was coming to an end, I was like, I'm really tired of being a uni student. We were at uni for 5 years, guys, not the average 3 years. And I was like, yes, I'm ready to leave. And I'll be honest, most of my friends were outside medical school, and I didn't see them that regularly anyways because we didn't go to the same med school. So for me, nothing has changed because my friends never went to the same med school as me. They're non-medic, or they're mainly content creation friends. So we never saw each other every day anyways. You're different. And then the handful of friends I did have at med school, I feel like because we're all going through similar things, like when we do catch up, we can still relate in that manner and capacity. And we might not see each other every day, but when we do see each other, it's like time never went past. You know what I mean?
By the way, it was so dramatic. We've literally been started like 22 days ago.
22 days ago.
Time hasn't gone past. It's going to be 22 days. It's just about 20 days.
How can you leverage med school years before becoming a doctor? Guys,
this is a good question.
I'll tell you for free that there's been so many moments as a doctor where I've been like, wow, med school actually prepared me for this. Genuinely.
Really?
Genuinely. In that, for example, I told you this earlier, but the displacement of going between different hospitals prepared me to go to a new hospital and be mentally prepared that, okay, I need to use new equipment. These are the new systems here. I've had to do that during med school, so it wasn't that much of a shock. And I think as well, even being able to take a history or to do bloods, if I was one of those people who always bunked placement, never really took it seriously and got people to sign me off even though I didn't do it, I think I'd be very anxious right now, because when you're the only doctor on the wards and that patient needs a cannula, you have no choice but to do the cannula. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you didn't practice it even once, like, it's a bit stressful right now. Even though, yes, sometimes I miss ABGs, I'm not as anxious as Lydie normally would be because I've had to be in that situation at med school.
Are you doing cannulas and ABGs and whatnot? Are you like getting them?
I've been thrown into the deep end.
Are you like proper like doing them?
With assistance.
I'm so proud of you. Well done.
I haven't done on my
Lydie used to hate them during med school. Obviously, I don't see her.
I missed the cannula recently. Don't even give me. I'm done.
No, but still, you still get them.
I got one by accident. Like, I'm still trying.
Hey, take the compliment.
So yeah, guys, please don't take placement too seriously, because at the end of the day, like, you need time to study, you need time to breathe.
Yeah.
But don't take the piss. Like, don't not go placement at all, because it will really help you as a doctor. Don't just be that person who only does a history when exam season's coming. You're gonna need it as a doctor. So leverage it in that capacity academically, but I would also say as well, professionally, I am where I am today because my free time at med school, I spent it networking. I spent it doing things I enjoy, put myself in rooms I enjoyed, and it's opened crazy opportunities. That means I've kind of set myself up for a portfolio career of some sort, even though I've just stepped into my career. I have so many options of how I can apply myself creatively, executively, professionally, clinically. And that's because I set myself up for that in medical school. I collected that skill set in medical school when I had time. If I had to start that now, I would not have time. I would not have time to start a new page now or to build up certain skills. I don't have time for that. So I'm happy that a majority of it was done at med school. So I would just say explore, 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 and grow professionally while you're at med school. Discover things you want to do beyond medicine, because your skill set goes beyond medicine. And even if it is linked to medicine, this is the time to do it, because you're not really going to have time in F1.
Does it feel like all your hard work was worth it?
Aww.
This is such a key question. I think so. I think it definitely has been. Obviously, so difficult to comprehend how much work has gone into this because it's years and years of work, not just medical school, but A-levels as well, and even GCSEs. So it's quite difficult to comprehend just how much I've done for this. But I do feel very proud of myself when I'm on the wards. And even when I'm like with other doctors, I'm just like, this is what I wanted.
This is so
and
cute.
It's so nice that I've achieved it, and I'm now kind of living the life that I once thought I could never live. I'm doing something that once I thought I don't know if it's going to be possible, stuff like that. So yeah, I feel like all the hard work has been worth it. Obviously F1 isn't easy, and I'm not trying to tell you guys it is going to be easier in any way, but for me personally, I feel like it has been worth it, and I'm not in a position where I like regret it or I'm like hate my job, nothing like that. I'm actually really enjoyed my experience. So so yeah, for me, it's definitely been worth it.
So guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this Q&A video. If you want to see what we've gone up to so far as doctors, Hazal's recently released a vlog that you can check out here. We'll be sure to see you guys in a new video soon. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and drop down below what we should make a video on next as a duo.
I will see you guys in a new video next time. Bye.